Look at your desk, look at your pocket, look at your car. What do you see? A sea of gray, black, and brushed aluminum. A collection of identical glass slabs designed by an algorithm to be as inoffensive as possible. In 2026, technology has no face. It has no soul. But if you go back to 1999, gadgets didn't just work, they made a statement. They had curves, they had translucent shells, and they had colors like Bondi blue and atomic purple. We lived in a world of tactile switches and glowing vacuum tubes before the cult of minimalism decided that every human being on Earth wanted to carry the exact same rectangular slate. Today, we're looking at 15 gadgets that once had a unique soul but have been replaced by soulless, generic items. And number one, it's a device that used to be the centerpiece of every living room, a masterpiece of wood and glass that has been turned into a black hole on your wall. If you miss the days when technology looked like the future instead of a hospital appliance, welcome back to BeforeWiFi. Before we start the list, we have to ask, when did we decide that boring equals premium? In the late 90s and early 2000s, industrial design was a form of art. Companies like Apple, Sony, and Nintendo were competing to see who could create the most human object. They used textures you wanted to touch and shapes that felt organic. According to design critics from the era, the shift toward the glass slab started around 2007. The goal was efficiency. A flat screen is easier to manufacture. A gray box is easier to ship, but the cost was our visual culture. We traded the joy of variety for the efficiency of the assembly line. Today, every car interior looks like a tablet glued to a dashboard, and every phone looks like a mirror. We are living in a design recession. Let's look at what we actually lost. Number 15. The translucent iMac versus the gray slab. In 1998, Johnny Ive and Steve Jobs released the iMac G3. It didn't look like a computer, it looked like a piece of candy. You could see the internal components through the Bondi blue plastic. It invited you to look inside. It was friendly. It had a handle on top, even though you rarely moved it, just because it made the machine feel portable and approachable. Today, the iMac is a remarkably thin piece of silver aluminum. It is technically perfect, but it is cold. It hides its secrets behind a seamless metal wall. The G3 was a conversation starter. The modern iMac is a piece of office furniture. Number 14, the Motorola Razr versus the generic smartphone. The original Razr V3 from 2004 was a masterpiece of aerospace-grade aluminum. The way it clicked shut was a sensory experience. The keypad was chemically etched from a single sheet of metal glowing with a futuristic blue light. It felt like a prop from a sci-fi movie. Today, Motorola still makes phones, and even their foldables feel like plastic toys compared to the density and snap of the original. Every phone today is just a screen. There is no profile. There is no silhouette. If you put 10 modern phones on a table face up, you couldn't tell them apart. In 2004, you could recognize a Razr from across a crowded room. Number 13, the Sony Walkman WM-EX series versus the digital streamer. In the late 90s, the high-end Sony Walkmans were made of polished magnesium. They were barely larger than the cassette tape itself. The buttons were tiny, mechanical jewels that made a satisfying thwack when you hit play. They had brushed metal finishes and logos that were embossed, not printed. Today, we listen to music through a Spotify app on a phone. The player has no physical form. Even dedicated high-res players today are just thick, black rectangles. We lost the jewelry aspect of music. We lost the gadget that felt like a precision instrument. Number 12. The Nintendo GameCube Indigo versus the modern console. The GameCube was a purple cube with a handle. It was weird. It was playful. It looked like it was designed for fun. Even the controller was an ergonomic masterpiece of strange shapes and primary colors. Contrast that with the PlayStation 5 or the Xbox Series X. One looks like a futuristic router, and the other looks like a mini fridge. They are designed to blend in or look sleek. Nintendo used to embrace the toy nature of gaming. Now even consoles have to look like high-end home theater equipment. We traded the purple cube for the black box. Number 11, the transparent Game Boy Color. There was something magical about the atomic purple Game Boy Color. You could see the motherboard, the speaker, and the way the buttons interacted with the pads. It was an educational experience without even trying. It celebrated the tech inside. Today, the Nintendo Switch or any handheld gaming PC is a solid block of black plastic. The insides are hidden away, treated like a corporate secret rather than a marvel of engineering. The transparency of the 90s gave us a connection to our gadgets that a solid shell never can. Number 10. The Nokia 8110, the Matrix phone, the banana phone. It had a sliding cover that snapped down to reveal the mic. It was curved to fit the human face. It was iconic enough to be a co-star in one of the biggest movies of all time. Today, a high-end phone is just a flat sheet of glass. Designers are so afraid of curves and moving parts that they have engineered all the personality out of the device. The 8110 was an object of desire. The modern smartphone is an object of utility. Number 9. The Braun ET66 Calculator versus the iPhone app. Designed by Dieter Rams, the ET66 was so beautiful it is in the Museum of Modern Art. The buttons were raised, circular, and color-coded. The haptic feedback was the physical resistance of the plastic. When Apple designed the first calculator app for the iPhone, they literally copied this design. But they only copied the image. They couldn't copy the feeling. Today, the calculator is just a grid of pixels on a flat screen. It has no texture. It has no weight. It is a ghost of a superior physical object. Number 8. The Sony Trinitron wood grain versus the flat screen. In 1998, a high-end TV was a piece of cabinetry. It had wood grain finishes and a deep, heavy glass tube that gave the image a glow that LEDs can't replicate. It felt like a permanent part of the home. Today, a TV is a black rectangle that looks exactly like every other black rectangle. When it's off, it's a void. The furniture aspect of technology is dead. We replaced the warmth of the Trinitron with the coldness of the OLED panel. Number 7. The original Roland TR-808 versus the software plug-in. The 808 wasn't just a drum machine, it was a physical interface of knobs, switches, and bright orange and red buttons. Musicians bonded with the machine. They learned the feel of the knobs. Today, the 808 is a plug-in on a screen. You turn the knobs with a mouse or a finger. It is a flat representation of a 3D soul. The style of the hardware, the way it sat on a desk and commanded attention, is gone. It's been reduced to a line of code in a soulless DAW. Number 6. The IBM Model M keyboard versus the membrane laptop key. The buckling spring keyboard from 1998 was a beast. It was heavy, it was beige, and it sounded like a machine gun of productivity. It had a style of industrial permanence. Today we type on butterfly switches or flat membrane keys that have almost zero travel. We traded the soul of the click for the silence of the slab. Typing used to feel like an act of creation. Now it feels like tapping on a piece of cardboard. We are halfway through the 15 gadgets that traded their souls for minimalism. We're about to look at the car dashboard that went from cockpit to iPad, and the camera that lost its mechanical heart. If you missed the days when technology felt like it was made by humans for humans, hit that subscribe button. We are documenting the design recession before everything becomes a seamless gray void. Let's get back to the list because number 5 is something you use every single day and it's gotten 100% uglier in the last 20 years. Number 5, the analog car dashboard versus the touchscreen. In 1998, a BMW or a Mercedes dashboard was a landscape of physical gauges, tactile buttons, and real materials. You could change the volume or the temperature by feel. The design followed the function. Today, every car dashboard is being replaced by a giant soulless touchscreen. There are no buttons, there is no style other than how big is the screen. It is the ultimate victory of cheap manufacturing masked as high-tech. We lost the cockpit, we gained a tablet on a stick. Number 4, the Nikon FM2 versus the Mirrorless digital. The FM2 was a mechanical marvel. It worked without batteries. The style was in the knurling of the metal dials and the leatherette grip. It felt like a tool for a lifetime. Today, a digital mirrorless camera is a computer wrapped in a plastic shell that looks like a camera. The dials are often endless encoders that have no physical start or stop. The mechanical soul has been replaced by an electronic simulation. Number 3, the cassette tape Maxell XLII versus the digital file. Even the storage media had style in 1998. The Maxell XLII's gold and black shell was a work of art. The way the tape moved, the smell of the magnetic coating, and the physical clunk of the deck. Today, our music lives in a hidden folder on a server. It has no media. It has no label. We lost the visual ritual of the collection. A digital library has no style. It's just a database. Number 2. The original iPod scroll wheel versus the iPhone music app. The 2001 iPod was a Zen object. The white polycarbonate front and the polished stainless steel back that scratched if you even looked at it. The physical scroll wheel that clicked as you spun it. It was a perfect marriage of form and function. Today, the iPod is just an icon on your phone. The scroll wheel is a memory. We traded the most iconic gadget of the 21st century for a feature on a multi-purpose slab. We are at the final item, the gadget that used to have the most soul, the most presence, and the most distinctive design in the history of the modern home. It has been completely erased by efficiency. Before we reveal it, think about the most beautiful thing you own. Does it have a screen or does it have a shape? Let's look at the number 1 victim of the minimalist scams. Number 1, the mid-century hi-fi console versus the smart speaker. The number 1 gadget that had a soul and is now a soulless item is the home audio system. In the late 90s, we were at the end of the component era. You had a silver-faced receiver with glowing needles, VU meters, a turntable with a heavy platter, and speakers made of real wood with beautiful fabric grills. It was the hearth of the home. Today, that soul has been replaced by a smart speaker, a gray or black pill covered in cheap acoustic fabric. It has no buttons, it has no face, it hides in the corner. We traded the majesty of the hi-fi for the invisibility of the Bluetooth speaker. We decided that we didn't want to see our music anymore. We wanted it to be a utility, like water or electricity. In the process, we lost the most beautiful objects we ever owned. We replaced the warmth of the machine with the coldness of the voice assistant. Technology used to be a guest in our homes that we were proud to show off. Now, it's just another black hole in the room, waiting for a command, having no personality of its own until it's told to have one. They tell us that minimalism is about removing the unnecessary. They say that by taking away the buttons, the colors, and the textures, they are giving us freedom. But the truth is that they are giving themselves efficiency. It is cheaper to build a glass box than it is to build a translucent iMac. It is cheaper to code a button on a screen than it is to engineer a tactile switch. When we let the designers take away the soul of our gadgets, we lost our connection to the physical world. We started living in a world of disposable slabs instead of heirloom tools. Which one of these soulful gadgets do you miss the most? Was it the purple GameCube, the banana Nokia, or the wood grain TV? Let me know in the comments. I read every single one. And if you want to see what happened to the connection part of our lives, when the gadgets stopped having faces, how we went from the 1998 drop by to the 2026 ghosting, check out the video on your screen right now. Thanks for watching BeforeWiFi. Buy something with a handle today. See you in the next one.